And with that, we bid you hello, everybody out there in YouTube, Twitch, X Land, whatever it may be, wherever you join us. Happy to have you along. Scott Hastings, Andy Lindahl hanging out with you for another hot mic up, and the Avs just scored. We come on and they score. Nathan McKinnon didn't get a point last game, went scoreless, but he gets right back on the board to tie this one with 26.2 seconds left to go there, Scott Hastings. We can try to show you as we get a little, yeah, I'll give you a little look at everything there, huh? Boom. Pow.
This will make Kiefer and everybody happy in the intermission.
Yeah, definitely will improve the mood of that group. There's no doubt about that. So anyway, good for them. They got it done. Yeah, man. So God, there's so much to talk about.
This is a historic game for the Avalanche.
Yeah, I gotta go. Let me go find the tweet from Brendan McNicholas. Like they'd be the first team in history, I think it is, to score this many points.
History to play in their first 20 games to only have one regulation loss.
Whoops. Yeah, so there you go. There it is. Anyway, we're pleased to have you with us as I try to awkwardly find the tweet that tells us exactly what the history is. I'll find it here, but
I just told you what the history. You turn a little bit like the warden is that you don't believe anything I tell you anymore.
I don't believe anything that you tell me. You're absolutely right about that. So there is that. Say it again.
It's be the only time in NHL history that a team has only one regulation loss in their first 20 games.
Very good. Very good. Proud of you for remembering that. I don't remember stuff like that, so very good for you for doing it. He added another note. Let me see. The other note doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I'll give you another freaky stat. I mean, because right now, I know Nuggets lost that Bulls game, but, the Avs, Nuggets, and Broncos are just, I mean, if you're a sports fan in Denver and you're not, if you're not a crossover sports fan in Denver, I feel bad for you, first of all. If you're not paying attention to what all three of those teams are doing, I really, really do feel bad for you. But there was another tweet. I sent it to the fellows on my show. I should have sent it to you. Nikola Jokic now has more points, assists, rebounds, and steals in this decade than any other player going, and no one has ever led 4 of the 5 statistical categories. The other one was blocks. The close one, Jabbar, in one decade did 3 of those things. But Joker is now leading in 4 categories, and it's never been done in the history of the NBA. Points, rebounds, steals, and assists.
He's proving he's an all-timer. I keep getting people upset with me because I keep saying when I think it's all said and done, he's going to be the greatest Denver sports athlete. And I know the people that have been around this place forever. My buddy Joe had to text in immediately, "Oh, you're so full of crap. You guys are always trying to make it up. It's football first, always the leader." Okay, you can feel how you want to feel, and I respect it. Bottom line is when it comes to and I love John Elway. I don't say these things lightly. I grew up here. I've lived the history. I'm just telling you that, Scotty, I don't know that Denver has ever had the dude, and nobody argues it. Elway always had to do with Marino and Kelly. McKinnon still has to do with McDavid.
And what's our guy that was
Joe Montana? Remember him? Yeah. Joe Montana of Elway's era was kind of thought to be the guy, despite how great that draft class of his was. The longer this goes on, every NBA, they all just keep falling. I don't have to tell you, you're out and you're amongst them. They have nothing left to argue. They have nothing left to argue against the guy. They all are just, Kevin Garnett is calling him the modern Wilt Chamberlain. He says it all the time. He's the modern Wilt Chamberlain. So And look, what's great about it is it's awesome that this city has that kind of history. Doesn't mean one was better than the other. Doesn't mean that, John Elway can't be your favorite player forever. I get that. Mine's Steve Atwater because I just love the guy. But it is amazing, for just this dusty old cow town where they weren't even sure this. Again, I grew up in a time, Scotty wasn't even playing Nuggets basketball here yet. I remember the time, and I'm sure some of the people watching this podcast do too, where they weren't even sure this town could support a Major League Baseball team. They weren't sure there were enough people to come watch baseball on a regular basis because, again, we were just the dusty old Midwest and there weren't enough people out here. And now we've had some of the greatest athletes in all the sports ever to come through here, period. Todd Helton, Larry Walker, John Elway, Terrell Davis, Shannon Sharp. Go back to the Orange Crush guys, Randy Gradishar, Louis Wright. We could go on and on and on with the list of Broncos. Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic, Patrick Waugh, Ray Bork, Adam Foote, McCarr, McKinnon, the guys off of this team, the Nuggets. You've got Murray's still up there. You've got a Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon. Whether you like him or not, Carmelo Anthony is still regarded highly by many in NBA circles. Alex English. Like, it's amazing, really, in a short amount of time. When you think about most of these teams did not exist till the Broncos till the 70s, pretty much everybody else into the 80s, how in short a time this has become one of the greatest sports towns going in the country.
Yeah. I'm a giant fan of Elway. In fact, I'll always argue Elway over Peyton Manning, but that's just me. I mean, this guy, what he did in the 80s, and I know they lost 3 Super Bowls, but he's taking teams on his back. I mean, I'll tell you this, John Elway, quarterback of the 80s John Elway, and I know, well, they weren't as accurate because now we're all analytical. It was a different brand of football. You got the clobber guys. You got the mug their wide receivers.
Receivers are not allowed to run clean routes.
It's a lot different.
And let's be honest, Scotty, we know from our guy Dave Logan, receivers were in danger catching the football sometimes, period.
Right. Yeah. So and he's an all-time great, and he's one of my favorite people. So I'm with you on that. The thing that Joker's doing, and if he wins another championship or another MVP or both of those type of ilks, I mean, you're talking maybe Mount Rushmore type stuff of the NBA by the time he gets done. But we'll see. I mean, listen, the season's early this year, but listen, argue that he's already, top 3 or 4 athletes that's ever played in Denver. I think, and listen, these guys already got Hall of Fame jackets in Issel and Alex English and Melo now. He's better than all 3 of those guys. Not even close.
He's number 1 in franchise history, period.
Joe Sakic he's one of my favorite all-time players. But Joker's liable to get done, and he's the guy that people will be chasing numbers and records for in the future. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's probably going to catch Oscar Robertson for second in triple doubles. Maybe a while longer Russ plays, but he's really not that far behind Russ either at 200 and something. And Joker's closed in on Oscar at 180 something. But he's a center. He's doing this. He's doing this, at the 5 spot, not the 1, not the 2. He's doing it from a different spot. Maybe we ought to give Russ and Oscar a lot more credit for getting it, getting all the rebounds for what they did. But he's he's at a different level. He's at a different level, man. He really is. And I'm just afraid that when he gets done and finally retires, that he's going to end up. I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. He's going to get done, retire someday, move to Serbia, and we'll be fortunate if we ever get to see him, right? It'll be those rare spots he's back in the States for something. Here's my hope. They signed him for 1 more contract. He's here another 6-7 years. now all of a sudden, and this is powerful, all of a sudden now your little girl's in grade school and fourth grade, and your son's in kindergarten, first grade, and now they've got their little friends and their little groups, and now all of a sudden he's like, well, guess we got to stick around. I mean, think of me, Avs and Nuggets, or Avs and Bronco guys that still live here. I'm still here. I instead of moving, this is such a good place to live. Why am I going to move and chase basketball for 2 or 3 more years? There's times I wish I would have, but this is a good place to live. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Kids got friends, kids are in school. This is a pretty good life. I'm hoping he's 5 or 6 years. He might be here forever.
Yeah, man, I hope that's the case. I feel like here's what I kind of hope selfishly is that, let's say he finds a way to pull off an Olympic medal with Serbia. He won't be able to go anywhere. So he'll need to come here just to have that quiet anonymity that he talks about, which is crazy to say because everybody in Denver loves him. But as much as Denver loves him, he pulls off one of those gold medals somehow, someday he will have no life, no private life in Serbia. It'll be the thing, but we'll see.
Well, and now you see why he's into the horse racing.
Right.
Because he's in a whole nother world that people doesn't even really know who he is, that are just in that horse racing world.
Yep.
I mean, it's us invading that world. That world hasn't, So I wonder if that's also part of the anonymity he enjoys by going over there. And there he's just a owner of a barn and a farm and, racing horses.
All right. By the way, folks, we're going to stay on for about a half hour. So we'll take this thing, I don't know, maybe till about 8:15, 8:30. So stick with us. We're not going to do like we do at halftime where we just kill it because they get back on the ice. But we're just trying to fit these in. My man's traveling, playing you got Nuggets games every Wednesday. You and I was going to jump on last night because I had pretty good energy. I had some good late energy. And I was like, you know what? It would be cool if Scotty could go to a presser or something like that. And I remember Dan Tanner in the paint. I didn't want to mess with any of that. So anyway, yeah, dude. By the way, look, Twitch people, you know what's going on. Somebody who's one of the moderators, get it handled, please. I'm on a frame for 3 different sites. We're not on Twitch. So but those that are there, you know what's going on. Get it handled. If not, I'll text Spring and we'll make sure that the person doesn't get to be on the chat anymore. So anyway, dude, the Broncos, where are we at with the Broncos? A couple days away. Has any of the excitement subsided at all? Have you gone back into analytical mode? What I loved about listening to you Monday, because I don't think we've had a lot of chance. I don't think people, when I started working with you at KOA, when we first called this podcast the Zoo Crew Redo, which maybe one day we'll go back and do a couple episodes just related to that. But I feel like we covered a lot of the stories. Regardless, you were a true fan of the Broncos, even though you were calling the game. And I saw Bronco Scotty, fan Bronco Scotty. Like, again, I felt like you were one of us. It was always so awesome. And then, look, the team sucked. You've been covering the Nuggets full time. Just some of that wanes, right? I mean, I grew up here. I love the Broncos more than anything. And the last 10 years have been tough, and you got to go into analytical mode, and you can't just be rah-rah fan guy. The Scotty I heard Monday is the first time I heard a little of let's take calls, and there was like a Zoom Monday where it just felt like fan Scotty was out for the first time in a while. So I'm just curious, is fan Scotty still with us, or what do you think in three days later? Or so?
I don't know, man. That's a great question. I think you go into analytical, Scotty, when it's so bad and you're just trying to find answers.
Well, yeah, because you want to explain it to people because everyone's asking you, why do they suck?
Yeah.
Why did
try
that happen?
to find some answers. I tell you what, it's really funny. I don't know. I watched that game, and the Kansas City game was the first game I got to watch live in 3 weeks.
Right.
Because I got kids soccer and kids flag football and all sorts coming on. So I'm coming in games at halftime, and I'm just now starting it, right?
Right.
I watched it, and I will say this. even when Kansas City got the ball back at 19 all, I wasn't nervous. And it wasn't for the lack of excitement. I'm like, they're going to stop him here. It just, listen, and I don't know what the excuses Kansas City has made this week. I know I've talked to my boys. I'm on a thread with all my Kansas guys. And Nagy called a terrible game and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, boys, that defense has been doing it to people all year. So anyway, I watched this game and I was cheering. And then when McMillan got the sack, on third down and 10, I'm like, there was no doubt in my mind they were going to win the game.
Right.
Even when it got third and 15, I wasn't freaking out a little bit, which I'll say this. I thought that third and 15 play in the pass to Cortland Sutton might have been Bo Nix's best throw. He was on the run, stop, boom, made a perfect throw, first down. I mean, once you get third and 15 and you get it done, did you not know they were going to win the game? Like there was no doubt in my mind they were going to win the game. And they were probably going to have to hit a 59-yard field goal. And then the second and 8, and you find Franklin for 30 yards or whatever it was, 20-some yards.
He finally made a catch.
Yeah, you're like, game over, dog. Game's over. I mean, it's the first time in 9 years. I remember going back to 2015, and they'd always hack you off and make you mad, because they're throwing the balls. There was games. I think they won a game, and Peyton had 4 interceptions. There was a couple games they won. He had 3, and you're like, what the heck is going on? But if they always kept it close, they got the ball back, you knew they were going to win. I felt the same way. They had it 19 all, and I said, they're going to win the game. There was no doubt in my mind, and that's with Kansas City with the ball with 4:05. That's Patrick Mahomes' time. I said, he ain't going to do nothing here. And it's the first time I really felt like that, and I wasn't jumping up and down. I'm telling you what, it's the first game in a month I've been able to watch live, and it's the first time in a tight game against a big rival that I wasn't freaking out. I didn't freak out in that game at all. And I'll be honest with you. A year ago, 2 years ago, when you get those first 2 drives and you got to settle for field goals and you've got in the red zone, I'd have been, you screwed that up. You screwed that up. You don't trade field goals to touchdowns with Mahomes. And you know what? It was the calmest. And so if this is fan Scotty, I think analytics Scotty is still in there, but he's put markers in fan Scotty's head to where now, I don't know, man. It's the calmest I've ever been watching the Kansas City Chiefs game with the Denver Broncos. The calmest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, that's wild because it was the exact opposite for me. All I did was scream at the TV and get upset. I did think when they gave the ball back to him right before half that was going to come back to bite him, but the Denver defense held them. I did think at the end of the game when they gave him that one last shot that ultimately ended in the blitz from McMillan that, that was going to end up and bite him, but it didn't. That was as least in check were my emotions that I've had in a game in 10 years, easily.
Oh, I'd have been right there with you 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. And I don't know why I was matter of fact. It's a little bit like watching the Avs today. They're down 1-0. And the way they're playing now, I'm like, that's all right. They've been down. Heck, and have this start of these first 20 games, I bet they've been down 1-0 at least half the time.
Oh, yeah.
At least half the time. No freak out. The Denver Nuggets not playing well, to start that New Orleans game. And then as soon as Spencer Jones came in, went, ooh, something just changed. So, and even at the end, you're like, okay, whatever. And David Adams was on the show today. Well, we got to close out better. Yeah. Guess what? They shoot 21 free throws in the game, and the refs gave them 15 in the fourth quarter. That's how you get back in the game. Shoot free throws with the clock stopped, put them on the line, foul out Joker. First time he's fouled out in 2.5 years.
Because
Foul out
they
Joker.
showed up to watch him get fouled out, right?
Yeah, foul out Joker and whatever. But you know what? Then you got Valanciunas there. Two big ass 15-foot jump shots, didn't he? Two
Yep.
big ones. You wouldn't.
Yep.
Hey, what? Last year you wouldn't have made those. Last year
Nope.
you lost that game in New Orleans.
Dude, last year you'd already lost about 5 of these games. Would you not?
Maybe so.
In part, and it's some of it's the bench, some of it's what they got going on. But this team, they come out in the second half, they just lock in and away they go. Away they go. So
I'm in a calmer place. We've got 3 of the B8 teams in 3 different leagues, which we've never been able to join in the same season like this. You know, it's either the Avs to be good, bad, and the Nuggets are good, and the Broncos are good. And then the Broncos are real bad, and the Nuggets and Avs are good. And then we haven't enjoyed a run like this with all 3 teams. And I have never enjoyed a calmer sense of mind than I am right now. And I'm almost saying with the Avs or with the Broncos, take care of your business, win your home games, split on the road. And you know what? I started watching the Buffalo Houston game for a little bit. Houston has what's his name? Stroud's still out, by the way, from that concussion he got.
yeah, that game tonight sucks.
And I'm like, I don't think Buffalo wants to play in Denver.
I don't think anybody wants to play in Denver with this defense.
Listen,
not with the crowd noise here.
I didn't think the Broncos had a chance in Hades last year in Buffalo. Buffalo don't want to come in Denver in December, late December, January. Buffalo don't want to play here. I am not afraid of the Buffalo Bills in Denver.
If the Broncos stay healthy on defense, nobody's going to want a piece of any of that because you can't adjust things. You can't get your counts down right. They're going to jump snaps. They're going to come after you. Crowd's going to be loud. You're not going to be able to adjust it.
And that's the thing. Listen, Broncos have already been known when they're good. Listen, they also had about 20,000 no-shows towards 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Last year they were better. But Broncos crowd, listen, Mile High has always been great. The Avs, at one time, had 300 and some straight years or 300 and some straight games of sellouts. The Nuggets are like at 140 or some 50 straight sellouts. Denver and oh, by the way, in case people forget, you got to play in altitude. Denver right now is a home ice field court advantage, not only because the teams are nice, the fans are showing out in Denver.
Well, because like this Bronco group, they haven't drafted everybody that's key, but they haven't just shown up this year, right? Like Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga, they're new to the crew, and I love Hufanga. I wish he could get some new hands to actually pick a ball off here and there because he could have had a pick 6 the other day, but still love the way the guy plays. He's like Troy Polamalu 2.0. But this is a group we've been watching for a while, right? Benito was part of the bad times, and now it's good. Nuggets had some bad times, now it's good. Avs had some bad times, now it's good. So whether you're from Denver or not, you probably lived in the area long enough that these feel like your guys because you've seen the come up. And I think anytime fans feel like they've been part of the come up, the glow up, as the kids would say, I think people become more loyal to the team. And it doesn't matter if you've lived here your whole life or just 5 years, 6 years, you've seen the bad to the good. And I think it makes people loyal to the team more.
Well, I saw, and not only the team, I saw a little clip. I was doom scrolling before we got on, and somebody was interviewing TJ Ward, and how he kind of claims Denver. I mean, that's his place. And he goes, the greatest decision I ever made was coming here. He said, and the guy who's interviewing asked him, why is that? He goes, you don't understand. This Broncos fan and this culture, he said, the minute you walk in the building, it's different. He named he's at Tampa and he's at this place. He's at this place. He says, there's no other place in the NFL like this place. We may have lost a little bit of it there during that little stretch, trying to figure out who we were and what we were. But it's riding right now. I mean, what do the Avs always talk about? Culture. Do they not talk about culture all the time? Broncos talk about their culture all the time. Nuggets now are talking about the Nuggets way, how you play, Nuggets culture. Dude, there's something going on in Colorado and Colorado sports that sure is exciting. I wish the baseball team would learn. I wish, my suggestion for the Podesta or whatever, the new guy that's there, I would go and try to get a meeting with the owners of the Broncos and George Payton, and I would try to get a meeting with Joe Sakic and what's his name, MacArthur. What's the other GM of the Avs? I'd get a meeting with him. Yeah, and I'd get a meeting with
McFarland.
I'd get a meeting with those guys. I'd get a meeting with the Nuggets and the front office and ownership. I'd try to talk with the ownership. What are you doing? How did you develop this? What's one or two of the keys? Because the first thing that's got to change for the Rockies, they got to change the culture. They got a losing ass culture right now. And I'm glad they finally brought a guy from the outside in. I don't care. Everybody tries to make fun. Always with Cleveland. Look what Cleveland did and look at the decisions they had. Okay, fine. You got a voice somewhere else. It's been at least other places. Up and down on his success with it. But, man, if you ain't excited about being a sports fan in Colorado right now, you're stupid or you don't like sports. Or you're from L.A. or some other place. And if you're the Rockies, wake up. Wake up, man.
Yeah, but you got to want to try and you got to compete. Losing's got to bother you. And I have no evidence to show me that losing bothers Dick Monfort. Just don't.
On me. Oh, there you go.
So there you go. Don't know what to tell you.
Say it again. You froze up on me. Say it again.
I said the only way it changes is when you see that losing bothers Dick Monfort. And right now there's no evidence that losing bothers Dick Monfort. Am I wrong?
Nope. Then you know what? Then let's have 3 parades this year. Let's have 3 parades and let's change the parade route and go right by 20th and Blake.
Yeah, you did. You make some noise during the summer for sure when the Avs and Nuggets would hoist theirs. All right. So I know you were walking around the bows and going to the press conferences, getting on the bus and getting ready to go back to your hotel before you guys flew out today to Houston. Chris Dempsey said something interesting on your post-game show I wanted to bounce off you. Chris said that the Nuggets have not really been tested by a lot of good teams, and he's excited for tomorrow because he thinks tomorrow's the first real good team to just kind of give you a taste of where you're at. Would you agree with that? I don't know if he meant it as like a little bit of a slight, but it almost like maybe accidentally came off that way.
Maybe. I mean, Golden State's turned into a barely over 500 team. You played them twice. Sacramento's underperforming, and you'll get them tomorrow or Saturday on a back-to-back.
And they're missing now Sabonis.
Yeah, give them a chance, though. Record-wise, this is the best team you'll play. That's for sure. I mean, I think Denver's 11-3, and Houston's 10-3. So, yeah, record-wise, you're right. And listen, Houston's a good team. Houston won, what, 57, 58 games last year, something like that? I mean, they were a good team. So, no, they're supposed to be better this year. They got Kevin Durant.
Yeah, they're tall. There's going to be – is tomorrow size a problem? Is tomorrow a chance to play Val and Joker? Or I heard Kaz on Saturday night say, man, this isn't working, blah, blah, blah. They're too slow. What do you think of the minutes that you've seen Val and Joker together? Is
I thought they
tomorrow
were
a day
good.
where maybe it works with those two out there at the same time?
I thought they were fine yesterday. In fact, when a shot went up, wasn't no rebounds. one of them two big jokers is going to get the rebound. Um, your chasers to the corner becomes a little different. I'd almost play a 1-2-2 and put Joker at the top and maybe drop him to the free throw line once in a while. Faster guys on the wings and bottoms. You might want to look at something like that. But I mean, yeah, you're not the fastest team in the world, but I didn't think it looked bad. In fact, David Adelman thought there was good minutes on those two big guys playing when he was on the show today.
Okay. I was just curious, man. They're just some people, look, a lot of people talk about how they do too much of the same thing. You're not as fast on defense. Every time they played it, I've not been able to see it live. I've had to hear it. So that's why I'm curious your thoughts on it. I look forward to seeing it. Again, do you think we'll see a little of that tomorrow with how tall Houston is?
Probably not. You probably didn't play Gordon because you're playing, Durant tomorrow, so he'll probably be back, so you can put him on Durant. Shingun, he's going to play no matter what. They use him a lot like we use Joker with what they do. And then they got a couple of athletic guys outside that get up and down and shoot the ball. They're a good team. It'll be a good game.
Do you think
They
the
were
Nuggets?
a good team. They were a good team last year. Game 82, and you went in there and beat them the last game of the year too, though.
Do you think the Nuggets have any real interest in winning that cup, or if it happens, it happens? Because tomorrow's a cup
I think
game.
if it happens, it is what it is. You got to play the game. Adam talked about that today. It's a game, and it's a big game because you're in the Western Conference, and you don't know as you get down, game 79, 80, 81, 82, where a loss or a win in November might give you an advantage or a disadvantage as far as home court and stuff. So it's just big from that. It's big because these two teams could play in the playoffs. That's why
And you don't want them having home court over you because of this game. You didn't.
Cup's a side effect. No, the cup part is a side effect. If you win it, you got a good chance of making it to the cup thing, whatever. And then that's cool because those guys in the end of the bench that are your kind of lower level minimum players. If you find a way to win the cup, you win $1 million. And for a guy who's making, at the end of the bench, Spencer Jones, who's probably making 600,000, all of a sudden you get a check for $1 million.
Pretty good.
Pretty good right there, isn't it?
All right, we're halfway through the second period. Rangers got another goal. Makar had an incredible chance as they sprung him in. He rang it off both pipes and it stayed out. Don't know how. So they're down 2-1, but no big deal. It is a back and forth game. The Rangers are playing with them. The Avs and the Nuggets and the Broncos are all about to experience the taste of what it's going to be like because teams are going to start seeing you as a measuring stick. So you better be ready. Yep. Everyone will be bringing their A game, at least with how they're doing early in the year right now. So,
well, and I said this on our radio show. That's why I really am impressed with Oklahoma City because every game they played, and I haven't even looked lately. They were 13-1, I think. And the game they lost, they were up 21 in the second half, and they somehow gave that game away. But every game's every game's on every team they play's calendar. There's the champs, there's the MVP, and that's a hard. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. So, and now you lead the league. You lead the AFC West. You lead the AFC in wins. Yeah, every game's gonna be circled. But I tell you what, Broncos next game sure looks a little bit kinder than it did when the schedule first came out, though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. But everybody keeps talking about how that Raider game is going to be no big deal. Dude, they just held you to 10 points in your own building. I mean, let's not go overlooking the Raiders just yet. I know they suck and they seem like they're in a mess, but
it was also a short week, and they'd played 7 games in
yeah, 33
days or something like that.
listen, my top concern for the Broncos is losing J.K. Dobbins is going to take away the guy that settled it all down for you. So, sucks.
I agree with that. Well, let me ask this. I'll throw a sidebar at you. If the Broncos offense can somehow find a way to muster 24 points a game, every game the rest of the season, they lose?
No, they shouldn't. Tell me the team that's going to score 20, that's going to score 27 against them, 26 against them. Don't think Jacksonville's capable.
Green Bay has been really great or just suck.
Yeah, and you know me, I like Green Bay a lot, but they have some bad first halves. Now, the Broncos could have it too, but, the Green Bay secondary is in a little bit of a mess right now. So they're a little bit there to be had, but you got to make the plays to have them. But again, if you just calm Bo down, I recommend everybody go and read Jeff Legwold's article that he wrote today on ESPN or yesterday, Wednesday, talking about Sean, and they've got to come to some agreement over the bye where they've got to figure out a way to get in and out of the huddle so Bo has enough time on the play clock so he can look at the D. Because when he has time to look at the D like they did at the end of the Chiefs game, he's calm. He doesn't speed himself up. His footwork is 10 times better. When he gets to the line and there's 10 seconds left, as Tony Romo pointed out a bunch of times, and Jake Plummer's talked about with the morning guys, he speeds himself up without the defense having to do a damn thing.
Yep.
So Sean has just got to accept. Sean has got to accept you can still have the offense you want, we hope, but it ain't going to be this year, dude. This is another part of the process. You buy a new house, it doesn't become the house you wanted, overnight. It takes years. Yeah, I remember one time you told me you've had a couple of houses. By the time you got them where you wanted them, it was time to move. You know what I mean? Now, Sean better hope that's not the case here, but look, dude, Bo doesn't want you switching personnel 10,000 times. Just respect it a bit. And Bo's got to understand they're going to do that at some points. But you know what? Just get a grouping in, call a few plays, run a few plays with the group, because that's where he calms down. That's how you get the plays in faster. Just is what it is. But it'll be interesting to see. All right. I'm fighting some with my voice. I have no idea. I don't feel sick at all, and yet I got some going on with my voice. So we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up here. We'll get another one now. What is the schedule next week? Well,
here you'll love this. We got Houston tomorrow, fly right after the game. By the way, the start time is 8:30 here.
Cool.
So 30 with you guys. Fly back to Denver, and then we play Sacramento on Saturday. Get on an airplane Sunday, and then go play Memphis on Monday.
Gotta love the NBA and their scheduling. One time we need to make one of those schedule makers just live the life with the Nuggets. You know how you have those embedded writers? Just once, let them live the life and see what you've done.
Well, I always say this. It's the guys who live in New York where you can catch a train and be in D.C. in 45 minutes.
You can go to Boston, Philly, D.C., Brooklyn,
All this travel is easy. It's only an hour away. No, not when you get west of the Mississippi, my friend.
Not for Denver, not for Utah, period. No. Everything's 2 hours away minimum. And that's also if everything goes right. So, whatever.
We'll have a flight. Game starts at 8:30. So we'll probably leave here about midnight, 12:30. And then it's a 2.5 hour flight.
So you're in your bed by 4 again.
But we get an hour back, so we'll probably get home, get in bed around 3, 2:45, 3. And then, by the way, let's play a game at 7.
Right. Get up, go to the arena, and try to do your normal stuff.
Yeah.
Sacramento will probably already be here, so let them get a good shoot around in, and you guys try to just skip shoot around, show up at 5, and see what happens.
Drink your cup of coffee when you wake up at 11:45 in the morning.
Well, you know what? They've been good enough to fight through it, so let's hope that keeps up.
Yep.
And remember, Chicago kind of surprised us being the second night of the back-to-back the other night, so maybe the Nuggets can do the same thing. And plus, Sabonis, is that their big guy?
Yep.
He's out with an MCL, so he won't be playing.
Well, that helps.
That was announced today. He's done. They're already 3-12, so away we go. All right, you guys enjoy the rest of this game, and don't forget we are going to check in with you guys tomorrow. We'll try to get this one in next week. We're just going to just stick with us, folks. We'll try to give you as much heads up as we can, but it's got to work a little bit around Scotty's schedule, and I got some things going on too. So what was once easy has been a little bit hard now that the season has started up again, but we're going to keep doing it. We appreciate you all joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe to all the channels. We'll talk to you all about this Avs game tomorrow. Get ready for a football weekend and the Nuggets' big matchup with Houston on Altitude Sports Radio. But for now, good night, Bobby.